Monster Hunter Rise has arrived, and I'm sure you've seen the glorious review scores, the gorgeous graphics, and the beefy bestiary full of amazing foes for you to take down. But this incredible Switch game has one glaring problem, one major issue, and they just announced late at night, right before launch, what they're going to do about it. And we got to discuss what's going on, everybody. It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Smash that like button to show some support. And let me know in the comments down below how you feel about Monster Hunter and how you feel about their solution. Does it sit okay with you? Are you happy about it? Are you bummed by it? Do you think it's enough? Basically, Monster Hunter Rise is a phenomenal game. It's not the gameplay that's an issue. No, that has been sped up and simplified in some ways while retaining depth. It's not the different areas that look gorgeous, the graphics, the performance, the online. It's none of that. It's that Monster Hunter Rise does not have an ending. And more people are talking about this and discussing, like, is the game just unfinished? And is this a major problem? Because a lot of players that progress through Monster Hunter and are more hardcore about the way they play expect an endgame and expect a lot to do. Like Monster Hunter World had 7 Elder Dragons, Monster Hunter Rise has 2. And when you beat the final boss, the game ends with no credits. That to me is an unfinished game. That's not just like a cute, quick ending. That's like, oh my gosh, we're just done. The NPCs at the end of the game, they say, hey, there's a new mysterious foe, but there's no one to fight. It's like they don't even know that their own game is incomplete. And, you know, other games had, like, tempered and hyper monster variations. We don't have that in Rise, okay? There's no augmentation for your weapons to seek out. It's not there. Well, they just announced what is going to happen, and I'm going to play this for you so that we can see exactly what's going on. This trailer just dropped tonight, and basically, Monster Hunter Rise is a game that's going to be frequently updated, and I think that's fantastic. World got some updates, but it seems like Rise is going to have a more committed schedule as far as I can tell, and I'm really eager to see what is brought in the April update, which is their first update, supposed to hit in about 4 weeks, and it's bringing new monsters. It's affecting the Hunter rank, and it's going to potentially bring a few other nice things as well. Now, in this launch trailer, they kind of highlight and go over some of the elements of the game that are exciting, but it's really towards the end of this that I really want to draw your attention, because that is where they announce what's going on. If we move towards the end, you know the Rampage is happening, but if we get here towards the end, they like to tell us something new is coming to the game. They are going to let us know that a free title update is coming. And here they show Apex Rathalos, who is a devilish-looking creature. Absolutely astonishing in his fairy wrath. I like that a lot. I mean, he is Rathalos after all. He's looking good. But we're going to pause in 1 second. Late April is bringing more monsters. That's great. It's version 2.0, and boom. All right, so we got Chameleos, Apex Rathalos, and several new monsters, plus the unlocked HR cap and related features. Start earning HR points once you unlock your Hunter rank. Beautiful. All right. Then, the new bit of information is version 3.0 with a date TBD, several new monsters, and a new ending. Okay, so they're bringing the ending in, and they made sure to let people know at launch, because I bet there are people that were upset. I bet there were actually more and more building, growing fervor in the community that, like, this game doesn't have an ending. And it's coming, I'm guessing, in the end of May. If version 2.0 is at the end of April, version 3.0 should probably be at the end of May or maybe into June. Maybe they release it around E3 time, something of this sort. But I'm excited to see, you know, these updates. I think they're great, but they're bringing in new monsters. And I hope that they deliver a lot for this new ending. Not just a cutscene, okay, but actually complete the game and bring in some of these endgame elements that a lot of players and a lot of past players are really hoping for. Now, I thought it was interesting to note that back on March 9th, and I didn't even notice this, I didn't catch this, but back on March 9th, Monster Hunter did have a gameplay presentation, and there was a Q&A, and during that Q&A, the director of the game did say that the main story would not end until the second major update. So I don't know. I think it's a bummer that the game does not have, you know, a true ending right now. I think it's great that we know before it's out. Like, they made sure to post this trailer before the game's out. You can decide and know, you know, is this going to be okay with you? The ending is going to be coming in the second update, version 3.0. You get to decide. But it's interesting that they did announce this about a month ago. They were straight up, they were honest, and I appreciate that. And I don't think that was broadcast very well. I don't think many people know about that. And I feel like it would still be a bummer, but I feel if we knew, hey, Yasunori has said, like, the ending is not coming till the second major update, that would have eased this kind of awkwardness of the game having no ending. And there's a bigger discussion, a bigger conversation about like, hey, how do we feel about games in 2021 that are going to be live service type games or games that are going to get regular updates? Is it okay if they're incomplete at launch? Is it okay if all the content is not on the cartridge? Now, this dilemma used to involve paid DLC, and that was where people started to get pretty pissed off because they felt like they were paying $60 for an incomplete game. They felt like they were not getting their full money's worth. And now a lot of these updates come free. So Animal Crossing New Horizons, a fellow Switch game, gets this discussion a lot where it's like, oh, is it okay that the game was basically unfinished? That they're adding features that aren't really additions, but more completions as the months go on. It's a live service game, you're still getting it all for free, but it wasn't all there day one. Monster Hunter Rise is taking a similar strategy by offering these free updates, bringing in new monsters, expanding the roster, and hopefully bringing in some of the features that, we know and expect and loved in World and past titles, as well as the ending. I personally am not that offended by it. I do wish that they were able to get even more in the game at launch, and I know some of you will rush through and be at the end very quickly, but Monster Hunter Rise is an expansive game. It does have a whole online multiplayer component, and for how polished and well done this game is, everything I've played thus far has been great. It's hard to really be that upset, because they are giving it to us, because they did announce it previously, and because it is coming relatively soon. We have an idea, we don't have a date, but we know that the first update is 4 weeks away, so we can assume that the next one will be around that time frame, and that doesn't feel too terrible. That doesn't feel like too long to wait, especially considering how some games have gone with their expansions and their unlocks. And you think of titles like The Division or games of that ilk that continue to just go on, and you don't get the real ending for a while. So it's a bummer there's no credits, it's a bummer there's no real big cutscene, it's a bummer there's no endgame. But given the pandemic, given how polished everything else is, I am personally, I'm not happy about it, but I'm okay with it. If this game stunk, I think this would stand out much more like a sore thumb. But the fact that they delivered what I feel is like a miracle of a game on Nintendo Switch, like this thing looks, runs, and plays incredible. I don't know how they made it happen. I've never seen a Switch game look this good, play this good, and I just love it. It controls so well. I feel like it is the first time I'm playing like a big third-party game on Switch, not named Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, that I don't feel is like gimped by being on Switch. Not graphically, not performance, not gameplay, not variety, not nothing. And if they're going to continue to expand the variety and continue to expand the monster roster and give us that ending, more power to them. Especially in a year where many games are getting delayed, Monster Hunter Rise was not delayed. And that's the last part of this that I think is important to remember. Just today, Back 4 Blood was pushed. Returnal was pushed. Okay, everything is pushed. Gotham Knights was kicked out of this year. These games are all getting delayed, and Monster Hunter Rise managed to hit it. It seems like Capcom is going to hit it with Resident Evil Village as well, which I think is quite nice. I'm quite excited for that. And if Capcom is able to make their games work, and if they have to deliver, some extra content and the true ending after release, but shortly after, but they alerted us and they said it's coming before launch and you can make the decision for yourself, I think they're doing all they can. Let me know your take in the comments down below. Does this do enough for you? Knowing the ending's coming, does that feel okay? Or do you still think this is a big problem with Monster Hunter Rise? I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe and check out the rest of my content. I got a lot of Monster Hunter Rise stuff up, more stuff coming, and of course we cover a whole litany of Switch games from Animal Crossing New Horizons to Super Mario and even more, and we'll have you covered on the Switch Pro and Breath of the Wild 2 and all that fun stuff coming later this year. But for now, have a fantastic rest of your day. I love you guys a lot. I cannot wait to get back and play more Monster Hunter Rise. Probably going to do that right now. If you guys have a chance to pick up the game, you're in for a super treat. If you're worried about the game, it's awesome. And I love you guys because you're awesome as well. So have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy out there. And until next time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed. SwitchForce, out.